Hi, welcome back to The Habitual Creator. My name is Angela, and today we're going to teach you how to do a beautiful tablescape. So come along with us and we'll show you how it's done. So first, you're going to see that we have a green and white checkered runner. If you'll notice, I didn't put the runner all the way at either end and it's squarely in the middle of the table, because if you remember, when you do a tablescape, at some point you're going to have to sit down and have dinner. So you want to make sure that you have enough room at each table setting for people to be able to set down their charger and their plates and glasses and silverware. That's why you don't see it stretching the length of the table. While it's absolutely beautiful to do so, it's not really functional when you do it that way. You'll also see that we put 3 candelabras in the table. These are going to be some of our anchor points that we'll design around, and you'll see in our next step where we start adding additional items. All right, in our next step, you'll see that we've added some greenery, and I kind of made it weave throughout the candelabras and went ahead and put down my 3 pumpkins. Now, one of the things you will notice in this tablescape is that there's not a lot of orange. While I absolutely adore fall, I don't particularly love lots and lots of orange, and so I typically will use non-traditional colors. And so you'll see in my tablescape, I actually chose to use green. Now, before I get started, I have to give credit to the actual designer of this tablescape. I saw it on Pinterest. I'm gonna flash it right here on the screen, and you can see that it is a beautiful tablescape and it's orange. I've chosen to do the green version of this particular one. So if it looks very similar, it is, because it was so beautiful. I had to recreate it with my own favorite colors. All right, so let's get back to the tablescape. You'll also notice that I chose pumpkins of different sizes and different textures. This is going to be important throughout the tablescape to add interest. So some are big, some are small, some are smooth, some are made out of twine, some are made out of velvet. So I tried to really vary it to give the tablescape some interest. Next, you'll see I went ahead and added in some votive candle holders, and I went ahead and put candles inside of them. These are electronic candles. I do not trust tablescapes with all of these items with real candles unless I'm actually sitting there and having dinner. But for every day, just to have it out and be beautiful, I will use electronic candles that you can just turn on and off. You'll also notice that I've started putting in tiny details. So in this particular part of the tablescape decoration, I've added in mini acorns throughout the design. You'll also notice that I've added in some of those teeny tiny velvet pumpkins. They're so cute and so petite, but they really add in a nice fill to the design without being too much. Next in the tablescape, you'll see that I added in some additional small pumpkins. They're not velvet, they're made out of the same material as the larger pumpkins, but they're a different shade of green. They have some additional details and they're smaller. So again, this adds some visual interest. I've also added in some corn in varied colors. So there's some light yellow, a bit of orange. So you're starting to see me bring in the orange with the votive candle holders. I brought in a little bit of orange with the corn, but still not a lot of orange. Our basic colors are the various shades of green and the cream colored pumpkin. All right, next you'll see we've started to fill in with some pine cones, and I've used mainly thin pine cones at this step because we're starting to fill in some of our holes. And I also brought in some feathered greenery, and I used orange to bring in that little pop of fall color, but not too much, right? Because if you remember earlier, orange isn't my favorite color, but I think we still have to have a tiny bit in there to honor the changing of the seasons and the changing of the colors of the leaves. So I did add some of that in there with some of our accent colors, and I also used some of the cream colored that are the same as the orange. So now I'm getting ready to show you a picture of the full tablescape with the lights turned down. It is so beautiful. So here you can see all of the pumpkins, all of the candles that are lit, all of the corn and the acorns and the pine cones. They make a really festive tablescape and is perfect for either a family dinner or a romantic dinner. I hope you've enjoyed this tablescape. Stay tuned. We are going to continue bringing you fall-inspired decorations. I'm super excited. Fall is my favorite season ever, and I hope you'll come back again and visit us soon. Until next time, toodles.